Welcome back once again for the fifth and final time, guys and gals. This is Jason the Cartoon Fan, ready to make and upload the fifth and final part of my Funko Pop collection video. I already showed all the Funko Pops I owned of characters from properties owned by the big three conglomerates, Nickelodeon, Disney, and Warner Brothers Entertainment. So now it's time for me to show you all of the Funko Pops I have for works produced by every company not under one of the three aforementioned conglomerates' control, as well as a few Funko Pops of real life celebrities. I have three Funko Pops of comic characters and four Funko Pops of real people. And I don't really have these arranged in any particular category. I'm assuming that this part is going to be a lot shorter because I don't really have that many Funko Pops that aren't for movies and TV shows. Okay, so let's get this part of the video properly started with this Funko Pop of Charlie Brown from the Peanuts franchise. I found out the sad news earlier this month that ABC lost the broadcasting rights to the Peanuts TV specials, and that now, in order to watch them, you have to either buy the official DVD or Blu-ray releases of the specials, or stream them on Apple TV, which is a new streaming service that got the exclusive streaming rights to the entire Peanuts franchise, including the TV specials and shows, with the exception of the four movies that came out in the 60s, 70s, and 80s, which are owned by Paramount, and of course the Peanuts movie from 2015, which is owned by 20th Century Fox and therefore by extension Disney, and therefore is on Disney+. It's unfortunate that the Peanuts specials won't be airing on TV again, at least not this year. But who knows, maybe I'll eventually get around to purchasing that Peanuts Deluxe Holiday Collection DVD set that came out earlier this year. I didn't buy it originally when it first came out because it was like $80 for like only 12 specials. But now that the Peanut specials are no longer airing on TV, I might eventually have to get that collection some point in the future. But I'm not talking about DVDs right now. I'm supposed to be talking about Funko Pops. So here is the Charlie Brown Funko Pop. I got it as a Christmas gift in 2016, and it was one of the very first Funko Pops I ever got. Front, top, bottom, left side, right side, and the back, complete with an advertisement for all of the other Peanuts Funko Pops. Really like that they had Snoopy paired up with a smaller Funko Pop of Woodstock together in one box because they comprise a dynamic dyad. You can't really separate them, at least nowadays. Alright, so now I have two Funko Pops for the Archie franchise. I'm not sure if I ever told you guys and gals this before, but I really love the Archie franchise. And when I say the Archie franchise, I mean the comic books and the original cartoons. I have a pretty decent collection of the Archie comic digests that have been published since the 1990s. And I also have a few of the larger-sized Archie comic books. I watched a few episodes of Riverdale. I thought it was fine enough for what it was, but I thought it was a pretty poor representation of the original comics, since the Archie comics were meant to be a comedy, and it felt like trying to infuse like a mystery plot with ongoing narratives and other types of stuff that to make the franchise darker and edgier wasn't really a good direction for the franchise. In my opinion, if I wanted to watch a good mystery series featuring Archie and the gang that represented what the character stood for, I would rather watch Archie's Weird Mysteries, a very criminally underrated cartoon in my opinion, and definitely one of Deke Entertainment's best cartoons. But that's not saying much considering the fact that Deke produced a lot of garbage. But anyways, I have two Funko Pops for the Archie franchise, one each for the two big icons of the company. Starting with, of course, Archie Andrews himself. I like how this Funko Pop is of him in his original 40s design, with the R shirt and the bow tie. The Archie characters went through a lot of different design changes over the course of the comics, which is quite understandable since the comics have been going on since the 1940s, and they're supposed to be representations of teenage society for contemporary culture. So of course they have to change the designs every decade so they could match the attires that teenagers of the decades that each comic was published in wore. So I think it's super cool that they have a Funko Pop of him in his original design. Front, top, bottom, left side. I like how they have the little approved reading symbol on the side, which appeared on quite a few Archie comic books back in the 50s and 60s. Right side and the back, complete with an advertisement for Funko Pops for the other Archie characters. Well, the other main ones, I should say. I may eventually have to get the rest of those sometime. I purchased this at Target, in case you were wondering. Alright, the other Archie Funko Pop I have is of Sabrina the Teenage Witch. Yep, decades before she got her live-action TV series in the 90s with Melissa Joan Hart, Sabrina was an Archie comic book character. And this Funko Pop depicts her in her comic book design, rather than her more familiar-looking TV show design, which is the design that the comics eventually adopted a few years after the show premiered. So, a nice little Funko Pop, but unfortunately the box is not in a really good condition, so I'll eventually have to purchase a new copy of this. I got it as a Christmas gift from my stepbrother Philip in 2019, and I'm definitely happy to have this in my collection, since like I mentioned earlier, I'm a big fan of the Archie franchise. Oh yeah, I probably should have mentioned this earlier, but I think that the live-action Sabrina TV series from the 90s is really good too, though it did went through a heavy case of seasonal rot when Sabrina moved to college in the later seasons. Front, top, bottom, left side, right side, and the back. Sabrina is the only character from her comic/TV series that actually received a Funko Pop, so there aren't any other Funko Pops of Sabrina characters advertised on the back. See right over there, trademark and copyright 2019 Archie Comic Publications. So if you don't believe that Sabrina was originally an Archie character, the proof is in the legal information. Okay, so those are all the Funko Pops I have of comic characters. So now I'm going to move on to the 4 Funko Pops I have of real-life celebrities. First off, Mr. Rogers himself as he appears in A Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood. I watched A Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood, and I think that Tom Hanks did a really good job portraying Mr. Rogers in that movie. Mr. Rogers was such a good person, and I really hope that he's enjoying his time in heaven. He deserves that. Front, top, bottom, left side, right side, and the back. I got this for Christmas from Philip alongside the Sabrina Funko Pop. Okay, so these are very interesting Funko Pops to have in my collection, and I'm actually going to be selling these soon. Why? Because they have quite a lot to do with current events. These Funko Pops are of Hillary Clinton, Donald Trump, and Bernie Sanders. These were limited edition Funko Pops that were released for the 2016 election. I got all three of these as Christmas gifts from Kurt. And these are all really cool, even though I don't think that Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump are really good people. In my opinion, it should have been Bernie Sanders who won the election, but I know everybody says that he was too old and whatnot, but he was the only one who actually knew what he was doing during that time. As for who I'm going to be voting for this year, since I'm now 18 years old and can legally vote, definitely Joe Biden. I mean, I would vote for a third-party candidate, but, you know, to quote Kodos, that would be throwing your vote away. Or at least I think it was Kodos who said that. It was probably, I think it was either him or Kang. I know it was one of those two. I seem to have caught myself in a Treehouse of Horror reference that I don't know the whole thing of. I really need to go back and watch that segment because that one reminds me way too much of current events and I want to watch it now. Okay. Alright, calm down. These are the final 3 Funko Pops. Gotta show them now. And then this video, which was taking a lot longer for me to make than I wanted it to, will finally be over. Okay, let's finish this beast already. Starting with Hillary Clinton. Why? Because she's number 1 in this series. Even though I personally think Sanders should have been number 1. But, hey, trying to avoid politics here because I'm not really that political of a person. Front, top, bottom. Oops, there's some dust here. Left side, right side, and the back. Alright, so here he is, the official Funko Pop of the hopefully soon-to-be ex-president Donald J. Trump. Front, top, bottom, left side, right side, and the back. I would come up with some random joke about Trump, but let's be honest, every single joke about him has already been burned into the ground. But hey, at least this Funko Pop of him doesn't look that orange. And last but not least, the Funko Pop of Bernie Sanders. It's a shame that he didn't win the 2016 election, in my opinion, but I'm a little bit worried that if he was president, then he would pass away like not too long after, and then someone else would come over and take his position who would be a bad president. Front, top, bottom, left side, right side, and the back. And yeah, though that's it. That's it. I'm done. Those are all the different pieces of Funko Pops that I currently have. All the figures, all the keychains, all the miscellaneous other stuff that Funko released under the Pop banner. That's it. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. It took a lot longer than I wanted it to, so I apologize if I sounded a bit dry during the later parts. It's just, I was kind of getting a little bit exhausted because I wanted to move on to do other videos, but I did part 1, so I figured I might as well do all the other parts. So, I'm pretty sure most of you came here for just to see the Funko Pops, and don't really care about any of my commentary. So, if you enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up, comment if you want to, subscribe if you're new to this channel, yada yada yada. You know the biz by now if you've seen a good portion of my videos. Alright, until next time, this is Jason the Cartoon Fan signing off.